red flag, red flag, red flag.
You see how quickly they spring into action whenever you see that something is dangerous. Hi, I'm Anthony Davidson. For this new FIA Insight Explainer, we're going to be looking at the race controls. This is usually a place where it's very secretive. It's the heart and soul of a FIA WEC Endurance Championship event. And usually when you're a driver, you feel quite intimidated to come here because it usually means you're in a bit of trouble because it's like walking into the head teacher's office. Follow me. Honestly, we are allowed in this time. Eduardo, thanks for joining us here. And yeah, hopefully you'll be able to explain in this amazing looking room what it's all about and the team of people that you've got working with you. How do you work with so many people?
Well, each one has a specific task allocated. It's a big group of people. You have people which just take care of the cameras, people which just take care of the hardware, the software, people which just take care of communicating with the marshals. This is divided into several groups. It's a complex operation.
You are the FIA Race Director for the World Endurance Championship. Explain that role to people that aren't familiar with that.
There is something which happens on track, a contact, take it for example. We look at it from our side of race control. If that contact needs to be investigated deeper, we send it to the stewards. Why? Because they have time. We have to manage the event, so we can afford ourselves to lose a little bit looking at it. If we see it's complex, we send it to the stewards. The stewards have more time. They don't have to follow the race from the safety point of view, so they have more time. They go into details. If needed, they will do a hearing. If that hearing comes out with a penalty, they will inform me and the competitor, then I announce the penalty. So they decide the penalties, I apply the penalties. So when a driver gets a drive-through, it's not because I give him a drive-through.
Yeah, that's very well explained and demystifies, I think, that common misconception between stewards and race directors.
The role here is safety is everything decided here. Sporting, it's decided in the other room.
But I'm here now, I'm joined by Benoit Dupont. You are the FIA Sporting Delegate for the World Endurance Championship. Benoit, tell us how you put this team of people together and your role within the FIA.
Well, actually, in the race control, we have two groups of people. I would say the international team that is brought by the FIA and the ACO. And on the other hand, we have the local Motorsport Federation guys, which are linked to the circuit and which are the experts of the circuit, and we rely on to manage everything that's happening on track.
So you're not taking the same group of people, therefore, from track to track in this World Championship. You're having to rely on integrating different members of the team.
Exactly. Our team brings the knowledge out of the championship itself, and of course, they are bringing the knowledge out on the track.
I am the one sending also the warning flags and all that stuff. Then we have another software which we have all the TV cameras and the CCTV camera. And we have basically all the data of the car that we can check. For example, here it's all the pit stops and all the stints. I have my own setup to check, for example, during full corsiado and all that stuff. I can take a car.
Warning for 50.
So here we're sending on the monitor, and then I'm gonna select Antonio.
Warning for 50.
Send him a black and white flag.
Warning.
He got the warning flag in the car. Usually we can also go on the car to listen if the team is announcing or to see the reaction of the driver when we are announcing. So we have all the cars, all the radio of all the cars. And usually we all choose cars to listen, and most of the time for weather condition and all that stuff, we select some drivers that we know to understand how you feel it on track and to understand better if we should red, safety car, all that stuff. So basically when we're deploying a procedure, I can deploy from here. If teams need some more information, we're posting information to explain why we are doing this procedure. For example, during the prologue, we had a cat at T10.
Yep.
So we say cat at T10 so that the team manager can inform the driver. The communication with team manager is also very important for us for safety, because most of the time they are the one informing us if they have an issue.
You mean team managers from the teams, the race
Yes,
teams themselves? Yes, yes. So not in this room, there's no team manager here.
For example,
you're talking about teams.
If a car stops on track, we don't know what's happening in the car.
Yeah.
So we need the team manager to tell us. We can rejoin, just leave us like 5 seconds, or we cannot rejoin. And if they tell us we cannot rejoin, then we know that we have to neutralize the race or the session.
What's happening?
What is he doing?
Red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag.
He's here, he's here.
Someone's
Piotr is
in
here.
trouble.
He saw that.
You see how quickly they spring into action whenever you see that something is dangerous. So it looks like they've had a photographer venturing onto the circuit, and it was spotted by Eduardo first. Race director jumps into action. The red flag is implemented on track. They're going to get them here to explain themselves in front of the boss. Can you just talk us through what happened in that situation there? So we saw, first of all, actually, I heard the lady behind me.
That was announcing that the journalists were going outside of the first line of protection.
Right.
In that case, we red flag the session because it's too dangerous for him and for drivers as well. So when we red flag the session, we have to deploy from the marshalling system a red flag, which is sending the team information on the screen. And in the car, in the marshalling display of drivers, they will have the red flag. And we're also displaying on the DG panel around the track a red, so that they got the information that they have to reduce speed and go back in the pit lane.
I don't want to take up any more of your time, Lisa. Thanks so much for that. And
Thank you for coming.
I'm sure the fans will be over the moon with the level of information that they've been witnessing here. Well, what a fascinating insight into the race control room, what happens inside that place where you don't really get to see that often. Like I said, when you do as a driver, it usually means you're in trouble. But really interesting speaking to these people that help to keep the show safe, but also entertaining and most importantly, fair as well. As always, if you've liked this content, then remember to like and subscribe. All the things you do on YouTube, you know how it works. And if you've got any comments as well, leave them below. Thanks for watching.